Good day, everyone. So, we are going to be discussing right now for the chapter one of the Living in IT era, which is Introduction to Information and Communications Technology. My name is Alan Lois Waigwala, together with my group mates Alberry Mehoy and Hannah Sabanal of MLS 1A. So, before all that, let's discuss or let's have an overview first of the topics that we're going to discuss right now. So, first is ICT, an overview. Second is IT versus ICT. Third is evolution of technology. Fourth is history of computers. Fifth is the components of a computer. Sixth is the digital age, information age, and computer age. Seventh is media in the digital world or age. Number eight is the overview of current trends. And the last topic, which is ethical issues in ICT. So let's hop on right to the first topic. So, first is ICT and overview. What really is ICT? Technology is arising and plays a great role in our modern culture as the world embraces its modernity. It undeniably has a huge effect on what is happening in society today. Technology changes the way people engage, read, and think. It benefits society and defines how individuals communicate on a regular basis with each other. How it impacts learning is one part of technology that has had significant effect on culture. It makes learning more interactive and collaborative, helping people to communicate more easily with people or with the content they are learning and having difficulty with. So, an example of this is it gives you easier access to services. Like right now, we are having a discussion through Classroom, through Gmail, through Messenger, and any other social media accounts that we can also have an inter-exchanging of message and information. So for students, it can really help to get work done better. Students can more quickly take quizzes and tests, and it can be very effective for teachers to be able to offer online courses. It also stretches the classroom's boundaries, promoting self-paced instruction, just like the setup today, which is the online class. So really, with the ICT, we can really have a more better communication with each other. So the next topic is IT versus ICT. How are they similar and different? IT and ICT must not be confused with each other because they are two different fields. In modern life, the information technology industry, which includes computers, applications, networking, and other IT infrastructures to help relay or handle data, is very significant. So, as seen mainly in major businesses or organizations. So, what happens with the business organizations and the use of computers and applications? This is more on the information technology industry. Meanwhile, information communication technology or ICT is more inclined to the educational environment. In a more general context, ICT is defined as the use of computers and other modern technology to aid the handling of use of information by individuals or organization. So ICT is when there is an educational environment or aspect of it, just like Google Classroom and just like online classes. It is a product of ICT. So, an example of ICT are software applications and operating systems, web based information and applications such as distance learning, telephones and other telecommunications products, video equipment, and multimedia products. Example of information technology are software and support for office automation, systems such as word processing and spreadsheets, as well as a computer to run them, user, PCs, and software data networks, and all associated communications equipment such as servers, bridges, routers, hub, and wiring. So you should never be confused with IT and ICT. So let's just always remember that ICT is more on the educational environment, while IT which includes computer applications and more on the IT infrastructures to help relay or handle data, businesses, and organizations. So let's always remember that. So breakdown of ICT is information, communication, and technology. So when we talk about information, this refers to the knowledge obtained from reading, investigation, study, or research. Not to be confused with data, information is regarded as processed data. So what we read in the internet, what we investigate, what we study are informations. And this are already or is also called as the processed data. So information is needed to make decisions and foresee the future because without information, how can we look up what is going to happen, what are the factors that we should be considering, and all of that stuff. So processed information is then called knowledge. Second is communication, act of transmitting messages. It is a process in which information is exchanged between individuals through verbal and non-verbal means. So communication can happen through verbal and non-verbal means. So when we talk about verbal, this is when there is an exchange of words where you're talking with something or you're talking about how important is ICT or what is the components of computers and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, nonverbal is when you are not exchanging words, but through or like speaking words, but also through chatting or by writing letters, composing letters. That is also a nonverbal mean of communicating. Technology is has made communication much easier and faster through telephones, fax machines, mobile devices, and the internet. It has also made broadcasting of information more effective. So overall, ICT can really be beneficial for us, especially right now that we are in a pandemic. We can exchange words, we can communicate, we can also learn, even if we are not having a face to face type of learning. So, next up, the third topic, which is evolution of technology. So, as we all know, in nature, humans may not be satisfied. They prefer to desire more things that inevitably transforms to new things, which is actually helpful to the modern society. A computer is one of the outcomes of human curiosity. So, because of our curiosity, we have developed these innovations that are very helpful for us humans in the modern world. Like, for let's say, for example, the equipment that is needed for a surgery. These equipments that are used during surgery are not exist did not exist 30 to 40 years ago. And because of this technology, it has made the medical field really go and advance and develop and much more easier for the surgeons and doctor to diagnose their patients. So really, it is really helpful. The technology that we have today is really helpful for our students and for workers and for everyone in general. Because with technology, it has helped us evolve and develop our intuition and thinking and evolve into the humans that we are today. So as technology evolves, so do machines. Computers today have evolved through the process of automation. Automation is defined as the technique of making a process or system operate automatically. Automated systems, however, is not the same as an intelligent system. Intelligent systems are far more complex and are capable of learning. So there's this video that I saw on YouTube where it's a robot that can walk and can carry things. And just thinking and watching these robots working, which are just man-made, is really mesmerizing and it's really amazing that to think that it is made by us humans. And what more can we do in the coming years? It's really amazing for us, to create this monumental and legendary or monumenting time and history making innovations that we have today. So the next topic is all about the history of computers. So what was the first computer like 30 to 50 or 60 years ago? So we're going to talk about that right now. So in the first generation, the electronic numeric integrator and calculator, or ENIAC, is considered to be the first generation computer. ENIAC was a modular computer composed of several panels capable of performing different functions such as arithmetic operations, and addition and subtraction, but only limited to 10 digits. It was it was made or developed in 1946 by J. Presper Eckert and John W. Muckley from the University of Pennsylvania that was financed by the US Army. So let's go straight ahead to the second generation. So in the second generation, the transistor was used as the interior sections of the computer. Transistors were much smaller, faster, and more dependable than the vacuum tubes of the first generation computer. They generated less heat and consumed less electricity, but were still very costly. So comparing to the first generation, they are now using transistors that is much more smaller, faster, and more dependable than the first generation. So we can already see some changes in the different generations and in the coming generations that we are going to discuss today. So in the third generation, which is in 1965, Jack Kilby invented the integrated circuit or IC that was used instead of transistors as the interior section to build the computer. So a single IC has many transistors. So let's talk about that. Resistors and capacitors that even the full circuit cord of a transistor can be replaced entirely with one chip. So like really in the third generation as well, remote processing, time sharing, and multi-programming operating systems were already used. So it's becoming more complex and more advanced as the generations of these computers are advancing as well. So in the fourth generation, which is in 1971 to 1980, from very large scale integrated circuits were used to build computers. These circuits have about 5,000 transistors and other circuit elements with their connected circuits in a single chip known as the microprocessor. So the other application of this microprocessor technology can be used and applied for pocket calculators, television sets, automotive devices, and audio and video appliances. So during this time, we still have no cell phones and all that stuff. So audio and video appliances were really something that is advanced during that time. So the generation of computers became more powerful, dense, reliable, and inexpensive. So let's go to the last generation, which is our generation as well, which is the fifth generation. So in this generation, VLSI technology has evolved into the ultra large scale integration or ULSI technology with the manufacture of microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic components. So because of this, in this generation as well involves computer intelligence, which is associated with artificial intelligence or AI, natural language, and expert systems that interpret the means and practices of producing computers that think like human beings. So there are now programmers and scientists that are working on artificial intelligence, like, say, for example, controlling things for the person with disabilities that they can control their hand or their prosthetic hands through their brain activity. So really, it can also be beneficial for the people. It really is beneficial for the people if you are using it in the right way. Okay, so let's move on with the components of a computer. So it is true that most computers have their own distinct architecture and various hardware brands have been built, but all computers are standard with the components that will be mentioned right now. So the computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It can store, retrieve, and process data. It contains both hardware and software applications. So what are these hardware and software applications? So let's talk about that right now. So hardware pertains to the computer's physical devices. So it's what we can see and what we can touch. That can be seen and touched. That is is what I said. So this is used to manipulate the computer's operation. Input devices and output devices. So when we say input devices, this refers to the enter or send data and instructions from the user or from another computer system on the internet. Meanwhile, output devices send back the administered data to the user to another computer system. So that is the difference between input and output devices. So the components of computer and input devices. So working with a computer would be ineffective if one does not intermingle with it because the machine cannot accept and receive instruction and or deliver an output on its own. So using these input devices will help us use the computer and use its great potential and capabilities. So first off is keyboard. It accepts letters, numbers, and commands from the user. So this is where you can type your words. If you're, let's say, you're typing and searching for something in the Google or writing a letter in the Gmail, you will use your keyboard for that. So next is mouse. Let's one select from on-screen menus. So when you use your mouse, there are these components, which is the trackball and the touchpad or trackpad. So trackball has a ball that can rotate using a finger or the palm to move the pointer. So that's the mouse that we use. That is when you have a ball right there that you can rotate and all, which you can use to locate or use it to point out something in the screen. Touchpad is a touch-sensitive pad that lets the user move the pointer by touching and dragging their finger on the pad. So these are made or used as well for some online or digital artists. They use this touchpad to make their art or piece of work. So microphone allows the user to speak into the computer to input data and instructions. Most of the time, users buy a headset, a combination of microphone and earphones for the sake of practicality. So let's move on. So a scanner converts printed material into a form the computer can use. The most common is a flatbed scanner. Handheld or portable scanners are also gaining popularity nowadays. So you can use your scanner for let's say you want to scan your notes and print it out so that you can really study it well and not just in your screen or in your laptop. So next is digital camera. Allows one to take pictures, then transfer the photographed images to the computer or printer instead of storing images on a traditional film. A PC video camera, a digital video camera that enables users to create a movie or pictures electronically. So even the picture or videos, we can already do it in their cameras or even in our cell phones. You can already do these things, which is not possible 30 to 40 years ago. So we're really advanced right now. So let's go to the output devices. The output devices refers to any hardware component that transmits information to one or more people. The three commonly used output devices are printer, monitor, and speaker. So a printer produces text and graphics on a physical medium such as paper. So this is when you have this. Let's just say for this example, this is already printed out from a printer, where what I encoded in my laptop has been printed out and encoded in a piece of paper. So the type of printer is impact printer and non-impact printer. So the monitor, it displays the text, graphics, and videos on a screen. So a cathode ray tube or CRT is a vacuum tube containing an electron gun at one end and a fluorescent screen at the other end. So next is a liquid crystal display or LCD, a flat panel display that consists of a layer of color or monochrome pixels arranged schematically between a couple of transparent electrodes and two polarizing filters. And lastly, the light emitting diode or LED, a flat planet display that uses light emitting diodes for backlighting. So really what monitor is it makes it possible for us to see what is in a screen and what is happening, and we can also navigate ourselves on what and how we're gonna operate this device that we have. So lastly is the speaker, where it allows one to hear music, voice, and other sounds. So that is the components of the computer. So that is the image of the printer, the monitor, and the speaker. And the system unit. So when we talk about the system unit, It is the enclosure domain elements of a computer that are used to administer data. This can be referred to as a computer case or tower. The circuitry of the system unit containing the primary components of a computer with connectors into with which other circuit boards can be positioned is recognized as the motherboard. So motherboard is like the brain of a computer because without it it will not function well because it is the main unit to make it work because it consists of the circuitry of the system which makes it turn on and show this display that we can see. So next is the storage devices. So what is a storage devices? So a storage device is a piece of hardware used by a computer to save, hold, and pull data. It may store and maintain short-term or long-term information. Within or outside of a computer or server, it may be a device, flash media or storage media, or other names for storage devices. So you can store your movies, your music, your files in this because it can be stored in there for long-term and short-term um, and short-term informations that you need. So next topic is digital age, information age, and computer age. What age are we on? So as emerging technology, user devices, and ways of interaction with other users and devices join the research, growth, and business launch market, where the meaning of what digital means tends to evolve over time. This period is also characterized by the industry creating a knowledge based society that is surrounded by a high tech that influences them to work in an efficient and convenient way. So, digital age, information age, and computer age are things that are what we can use for computing and for the prolific use of technology in almost all aspects of human activity. So, because of this, we can use it in a proper manner, a proper way, where we can use its great potentiality and capability and functionality as a whole. So, media in the digital age. Let's talk about that right now. So, media normally refers to the means of communication that uses unique tools to interconnect among people. In the digital age, however, media can be considered as the message, the medium, and the messenger. So when we talk about the message, the media is the message itself for those who create and own the rights of a content. Blog, for example, is a combination of web and log. It is a post that can be seen by anyone online. A person who writes a blog is called a blogger. So the message itself is what we see in the media in our devices, just like in our social media. These are the messages that we have and can perceive as the user of this. So the messenger is the one who delivers the message. So for example, the broadcasters, the journalists, the etc. So the medium refers to the tools used in sending a message from the source to the destination. Example is the social media. So let's talk about the overview of current trends. What is new? So when we talk about trends, it refers to something hip or popular at a certain point in time. So when time goes on, we already know this that technology continues to evolve. Technology is bound to update itself every 2 years after Moore's law. Apps convert handheld devices into miniature PCs that can, among other things, browse the internet, take notes, and play games. You can also capture videos or pictures and really make memories as well using your devices. So here are the major trends in 2017. IoT and smart home technology, augmented reality and virtual reality, machine learning, where we can already do Face ID, all bionic, wireless charging, and augmented reality. These are all the trends that happened in the 4 or 5 years that has already happened. There are also more innovation of cell phones, more brands are coming, more innovations are coming. So we are really evolving and advancing fast. So automation through advanced technology, it is now possible to do human-exclusive tasks such as step counters, heart rate monitors, and the like. Information is collected and automatically saved and stored in mobile devices for analysis later. So also you can do your health. You can check your health using your devices. You can monitor your heartbeat rate or your your sugar rate, your sugar level, and all that kind of stuff. So really, it's not about the entertainment only purposes. It also can be for the medical purposes as well. So last topic, which is the ethical issues in ICT. So although some entities apply ethical guidelines to the use of ICT, others clearly do not, which is why cyber malpractices proliferate. So here are some of the ethical issues in ICT. So let's name it first, which is a plagiarism, exploitation, and libel. So when we talk about plagiarism, it is an act in which a person copies another person's ideas, words, writings, etc., and passes them off as their own. Those committed such action may lead to serious legal and ethical defilements. So plagiarism is really a thing that we should always keep ourselves away from because we have our own rights, we have our own ideas and thoughts. So let's make use of what we have and not pretend that we know everything. Because in that way, we can also respect each other's rights, each other's privacy, and we can just live and have this in an easier manner. Next is exploitation. It is an action in which one deals with a person dishonestly, unethically, and dishonorably in order to take advantage of the latter's works and or resources. This leads to unlawful actions. Last but not the least, libel can either be an insult, slur, or slander, either written or spoken, or even through actions. It may lead to libel if the accusation is not true and without any piece of evidence. So there are a lot of cyberbullying that is happening in the internet right now or in social media. So if we go across one, let's make action of it and not tolerate this action because this can be a way for someone to lose their self confidence, to lose their self worth, and question why they are even existing. And we don't want that to happen to everyone. And software policy, which refers to an act of installing or copying a software into the computer in the absence of an end user licensing agreement or EULA, and or producing a copy disregarding the copyrights. So these are the ethical issues in ICT that can always be prevented, and we can always not do this if we just observe proper etiquette, respect each other's rights, intellectual rights, and all of this stuff, and we can enjoy ICT in its full functionality and use. So there is an ending quote that we have, which is the advance of technology is based on making it fit in so that you don't really even notice it. So it's part of everyday life. This is an amazing quote by Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft. So with the advance of technology, we can say that everything really is made easier, but we should also be cautious and aware of what we are posting and doing on the internet and using our technology because it can be a very vital and crucial, it can lead to a very vital and crucial result if not done properly. So that is the end of our discussion. Thank you for listening and tuning in right now. So my name is Alan Lois White Wallet. So who made this amazing PowerPoint? No other than Hannah Blanca M. Sabanal. And of course, for the script or the comprehensive report, it was Alberry May Mehoy. So I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something throughout this discussion. Let's meet again next time, guys. Keep safe and God bless.